Hello everyone, welcome back to my video blog. Hope you all having a good day. So today I'm going to help you understand what diabetes actually is. See, when we consume carbohydrates, which is usually present in most of our foods, the end product is glucose. Now this glucose is required by every cell to function, and it is one important hormone called insulin that actually helps every cell absorb glucose efficiently. When improper or inefficient glucose absorption happens, it results in something called diabetes. Now let me explain diabetes and the different types in a little more detail to give you some clarity. When either there is either less formation of insulin or excess formation of insulin, it's termed as diabetes. Type 1 diabetics are those, and usually this is a genetic defect in which insulin production is next to zero due to dysfunctional beta cells in the pancreas. Okay, this is what we call insulin dependent diabetes. Type 2 diabetes, which usually happens in adults, is something due to excess formation of insulin, which is triggered by insulin resistance in the body. This basically means that the uptake of glucose by the cell is rendered resistant due to consumption of excess foods that are rich in trans fatty acids, starchy foods, acidic foods, just to name a few. I'll be obviously talking about this more in detail. Most of our habits are based on emotion. They're very traditional, very cultural habits. But you have to understand that the human body does not function on basically emotion, tradition, and culture, right? It's based on science. And what's more important here is because of diabetes, we start developing secondary problems as well. We start developing problems related to the heart, renal function, kidney function starts getting reduced. So these are all parameters we need to be concerned about. How we basically ensure this is that we should get regular blood tests done at least once to twice a year. This would ensure that not only our sugar levels but other parameters are in check as well. Now, how do you know whether you are a candidate for diabetes or whether anyone you know might be suffering from diabetes? We're looking for symptoms such as rapid weight loss or weight gain. We're looking at basically hunger pangs, fatigue, frequent urination, for example, dryness in the mouth. These are some very common symptoms. I just like to highlight one thing, that diabetes is not a disease. Hanji, diabetes कोई बीमारी नहीं है. Okay, it is a metabolic disorder. It is a lifestyle disorder. Okay, I'm going to be discussing type 2 diabetes in detail because this is something that is actually reversible. Type 1 diabetes is non-treatable, non-reversible, but it can only be managed well with the right lifestyle. Okay, so when I talk of type 2 diabetes, it is absolutely reversible. It is not a disease, it is not a typhoid, it is not a malaria, it is not a TB, okay, which can be treated with drugs. Today, Western medicine does not have a solution even for acidity. Okay, you have antacid pills which you take, which gives you relief for about 10 to 12 hours. Beyond that, you need to repeat it, otherwise the acidity comes back. How do you expect allopathic drugs to be the cure for diabetes when they don't even have a solution for acidity? Okay, what are those anti-diabetic drugs doing to you? Basically, what happens is that when you take anti-diabetic drugs, they elevate the insulin levels, because as medical science says that the logic is, if there are excess glucose levels, let's pump it with more insulin. So yes, the drugs basically trigger the pancreas to produce more insulin, as a result of which the blood glucose levels come down. But here's the problem: in type 2 diabetes, there is enough formation of insulin already. The problem is that insulin is not being utilized properly. Why is it not being utilized? Because the cells have become insulin resistant. Therefore, the real cure is not in producing more insulin, but working on reversing the insulin resistance. It's very easy for us to blame sugar as the primary cause for diabetes, but you'd be surprised that sugar actually comes a little lower in the list. The main reason for us developing type 2 diabetes, or should I say insulin resistance, is because of the wrong use of oils in our diet. We as a society love to use a lot of oils excuse me, for cooking our food. You will notice that whenever we heat those oils, there is emission of smoke, especially when we use oils like mustard oil, sarson ka tel, sunflower oil, groundnut oil, soya oil, palm oil. These are the most commonly used oils in the country right now. When we use these oils, there's a lot of emission of smoke. Smoking basically means oxidation. Oxidation basically leads to formation of trans fatty acids. So at the end of the day, we're consuming mostly trans fatty acids in our food. It is these trans fatty acids which actually end up in the body, develop a fine coating of fat around the cells, rendering it insulin resistant. You need to go for rice bran oil in the purest form. Okay, when you consume rice bran oil in the purest form, it has many benefits. Besides being heart healthy, it helps increase insulin sensitivity. When it increases insulin sensitivity, it ensures that proper insulin utilization is happening, and therefore proper glucose absorption is happening into the cell. Okay, moving forward, we need to basically have a highly fibrous diet. We need to eat a lot of vegetables in our diet. Okay, and third, we need to have good quality proteins as well. These good quality proteins mainly should come from vegetarian sources, because when we eat non-vegetarian food, again, due to the consumption of a lot of high cholesterol food, the cells are resistant to insulin. I hope I was able to explain to you what diabetes is, how it's actually affecting you, right? And there actually is a solution to it. Get your blood tests done, find out where you stand right now, all right? And if you're looking for a solution, if you need to know more, I'd be happy to help. You can always touch base. But for now, this is what you should do. I'll see you soon with another video on my blog. All the best. Thank you.